Today, we're talking about the 2 most important places you should be putting reviews and the 5 ways to get it done. How many reviews can I read about your business? Let me tell you right now, my friend, we are living in what we call the review economy. Let's talk about some stats. What do we know? 90% of consumers are going to Google and read reviews before they engage with a business. Now, you know that, and I know that. But the stat that I was most interested in that my team shared with me this morning is this, that 77% of consumers believe that a review that's 90 days or older is no longer relevant. So, if you're sitting here right now with 10, 20, 30 Zillow reviews or Yelp reviews or Google reviews, the question is, ready? Number 1, how are we going to add more reviews? And number 2, where are you going to start to place them? That's what we want to cover today on this show. So let's jump in right to the obvious, right? Where should you be housing your reviews? I'm going to say to you, the 2 obvious ones, because you're in real estate, is Google and Zillow. Let's talk about Zillow. They were early in this. They pioneered it. I was a huge champion of it. I knew 7 years ago that consumers, we used to read testimonials, remember testimonial letters? Or my dear friend Ken Carey, right, who's the king of infomercials, would say to us, you know, that 75% of a television infomercial is that person saying, I got thin thighs in 30 days or less without diet and exercise. Those, you know, testimonials always move the needle. So, obviously, we know Zillow. They've done a fantastic job, and we have clients today that are adding in their marketing over 100 5-star reviews because it moves the needle. They get the traffic, you know that. So Zillow, check, it's a no-brainer. Now the question is, what about Google? What about Google? So here's what I wrote down. If you haven't created a Google Plus page, right? Some people would call it a personal page or a business page. In your case, either one is fine. You get a Gmail account, you create your Google Plus page. This, my friends, is the new opportunity for reviews that I want you to take advantage of. So I wrote down there's 3 big benefits to doing Google reviews. Number 1, the obvious, is the additional social credibility that you gain when a customer review or when they Google you, right? So, you know, they meet you at a cocktail party and they're like, Jillian, yeah, right? And they can immediately read, you know, 20, 30, 40 reviews showing up on Google without, my friends, having to click on any one of those links. They see it right there in the right side. So that's the obvious one, right? Instant social credibility. Number 2, Google loves fresh, relevant content. Some people call it like geodata, some people call it microdata. At the end of the day, the more often you're adding reviews to your Google page, let me tell you what happens, my friends. It is the secret sauce of SEO. I'll share with you a little stat. Ready? We started this in January of 2018. We've added 874 reviews since we started that. We've had a 47% increase in organic traffic to our site just by asking for reviews. Just by getting those reviews, my friends. Google loves fresh, relevant, micro-geo content. So by adding reviews monthly, you're hacking the Google algorithm, AKA generating more traffic. Plus, again, what I want to stress to you is your site is going to be, I want to make sure I say this to you right, your site will be organically ranked higher, which means, again, more eyeballs, more traffic. And when people go to your website and they're looking at listings, they can watch a few videos, they can read maybe some of these reviews because you're putting them there as well. And at the end of the day, they convert, right? Where they call you, they text you, they email you, they click on your site, you're going to get business. And that's the goal. Number 3, if you're running ads, which we certainly run ads, and I strongly recommend you're doing the same, if you're doing paid search, Google will tell you your cost per lead is going to go down. And the real kicker is your quality score, because you have all those reviews on Google, your quality score goes up, your cost per lead goes down, and at the end of the day, what's super cool is Google will automatically add your 5-star review rating to all your ads. That, my friends, is a no-brainer. So let's stop for a second. Let's go through them again. Obviously, social credibility when they're searching for you, when they're trying to figure out, are you real? Number two, Google loves the fresh, relevant content. So we have to be asking ourselves, can I just do this once? Or is this something I need to be doing every single month? For us, it's every week, adding more reviews every week, that fresh content, right? Hacking the Google algorithm. And then again, if you're running ads, because your quality score goes up, your cost per lead goes down, and they add that 5-star ranking to your ads, which is a huge bonus. So I think the benefits to both Zillow and Google are really obvious. So then the question is, how do we get more reviews? So I've actually got 5 different things you can do, right? 5 different ways you can generate it. 4 are the obvious ones for rock stars like yourself, and I've got 1 if you're a brand new agent. So number 1, obviously, is every time you meet with a client, you're going to incorporate some kind of dialogue that says, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, my goal is to provide 5-star service such that when you buy this home and we close the transaction and I slay the dragons and navigate through sometimes what can be a very challenging transaction, in the end, when you guys are happy and satisfied, I'm going to ask you to write a review on your experience. Are you okay with that? And of course, what are they going to say? You got it, right? That's a no-brainer. Throughout the transaction, number 2, throughout the transaction, they call it the hero moment, or I like to say as you slay the dragon, right? The transaction's going sideways, something's going wrong, the buyer, the seller is starting to panic, your customer is getting nervous. When you solve that problem in that moment, this is when it's done. The problem is solved, check, check, we're good to go. This is when you're gonna call, text, email, however you communicate best with them and say, remember I said to you my goal was to provide a 5-star service. Solving this complex problem is exactly why you hired me. I'm so happy we got through this. And by the way, this would make for a great review. You gotta ask. Which, by the way, let me give you an easy one, right? Especially for some of my veterans out there. One of the easiest things we did across the board with our coaches, our salespeople, our client services, is we added a little link where they can review us on their email signature line. If you haven't added a link, hey, review my business here, review my services here, and if you're smart, you're gonna add that as a bit.ly link so you can track whose email signature or email signatures in general are producing this result. So that's a bonus little number 3. Number 4, without a shadow of a doubt, you've heard me talk about this before. You gotta ask, right? You can be asking old past clients today from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago if you want. We actually had Cody Longmire, big shout out to Cody, who I just saw at the Dallas Blueprint. He shared this story where he sent an email out. This was 5 or 6 years ago. So Cody, I know you're watching this. When you see this, you're gonna giggle, and I'll probably screw up the story a little bit, but essentially, here's what happened. His coach, Doug, said to him, you just need to write an email to your customers and say, and as a matter of fact, he said, let's do it right now, right? Live coaching moment. He's got his laptop up, and Doug is telling him, you need to say, this was my goal. This is what we were able to accomplish. It would mean the world to me if you would take a few moments and click this link and just talk about your experience in us helping you buy or sell real estate, right? Very simple, not too complex. And Cody, in real time, is writing it and literally, get this, sends it to his entire database. And here's the best part, all in the to line. Can you imagine this, Mark? All in the, 500 people in his database, they all get the email. And Doug says, did you send it? He said, I just sent it. And all of a sudden, as you can imagine, somebody hits reply all. Oh my goodness, this could be the greatest moment or a horrific moment. It's Cody Longmire. The guy said, Cody, not only am I gonna write an amazing review on you, I want you to come list my house. And he had reply all to everybody on the email list. Now, am I recommending this? No, I'm recommending you send individual emails, right? Dear Martha, I just wanna say, I was thinking about you the other day. So much of my business is based upon what others have said about it, reviews, referrals, etc. Would you take a couple minutes and just click this link and write just a little review about our experience? Now you'll butter it up and soften it up. Do you remember this? And I was thinking about you and the complexity of the transaction and how I was able to slay the dragon. You're going to tell a little bit of the story to remind them, because remember, the best review is not just, oh my goodness, Jillian, she's amazing. No, it's Jillian came into our business. We had a very specific problem, and because of her level of sophistication, her talent, she was able to do A, B, and C, which produced this result, right? The best review is that specific, Tom Ferry helped me solve this problem, getting us into our house, saving us time, stress, and money. That's what we want to ask for. So again, whether it's an email, or over the phone, or in text, you know your customers best. And by the way, Cody Longmire, that story is still legendary in the Tom Ferry ecosystem. So many people have heard it. I'm not recommending you do that, but it sure worked out really well for Cody. So remember, number 4 is call, email, ask. And if you have to, even once you've closed a transaction, just remind the client, congratulations, here's your Tom Ferry, bobblehead closing gift. And hey, will you do me a favor? Would you take a couple minutes and write a review about your experience with us and prompt them on what you want them to write? So those are the top 4 things you can do. Number 5 is a bonus. If you're new to the business, I would over-index on Google and think about it like this. I'd ask my coworkers and all my friends to just write a professional review on me, right? No different from what you'd have on LinkedIn or on your resume. Those same people can write about you in an authentic way. Now remember, I'm really recommending right now you over-index on Google, especially if you're already sitting, as some of our clients are, at 70, 80, 100, 300, 500 reviews on Zillow. And if you're, for all my friends outside of the US, Google, 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 Google. And if you're my friends inside the US and you're sitting on all those, Google, Google, Google. Make sense? So that's all I got. I just wrote down in closing, a lot of work for you to do. My request is, you give me some comments here. You probably share this with some of your friends inside the office. You're absolutely going to want to use this, right? You're probably going to want to watch this 3 or 4 times, capture some of the script. Mark, you'll have lots of the scripts on Tom Ferry that we're talking about, maybe add a few bonus things. Zillow published something really cool. We should just link that up on the Tom Ferry blog as well. That's a good idea. Anything we have also from Google's standpoint, let's link that up on tomferry.com as well. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Remember always, your strategy matters, and now more than ever, the number of reviews I can read about you and your business is what absolutely rules. Hey, you're the kind of person like me who's always looking for great stuff, new ideas, innovation, and ways to improve my life and my business. Check out the link below at tomferry.com/agent-tools, because I've got lots of great stuff for you there.